Hello, Virgo. I know you were like, Joy, why you all up in my grill? Because I love you. No, because the wind just picked up and I'm like, really? I said, y'all, I got to get these videos out for my friends. I try and do as much of it seaside as possible. 3 little birdies sitting on a wire, huh? It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Have a little chocolate. They were I don't know who that is in Virgo, but they were like, somebody wants some chocolate. Go get it. Bless yourself, my friend. Get some luxurious chocolate. Ooh, it's making me think of this tuxedo cake that we used to get at a Whole Foods, but I think they also have it at the, I know, strange thing, at the seafood monger. They have this whole little delicious gelato section and everything. But anyways, that thing is delicious because it's kind of like a cheesecake. One little layer is cheesecake and it's white chocolate, and then there's a chocolate mousse, and then there's a chocolate ganache. And my younger son and I, we used to split a piece because it's rich but not rich. It's one of those things that each bite takes like, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute and a half, something like that, to save up in your mouth, to dissolve up in there. Do something like that for yourself. You need some pleasure today, Virgo, and I can see why. Look at that. I'm gonna do the dip and dive, bob and weave, woo. Anyways, this card is still showing up. It's like you have no idea who you are. It's not just the things, the gifts, the skills, the talents, or whatever. It is the who you are. It trumps any mighty castle. And when we look at the olden days, those castles that were on the whole crag of the mountain, they were the creme de la creme. They were the everything. They were the strongholds. They were the fortresses. They are like, you are everything. If you knew the power of what we'll call your mind, your divine intelligence, which is really translated as to who you are, not the do. It's all in the who. Virgo. And it's been coming in for a minute. This ain't nice and slow now. This is slow and steady wins the race, because you're making an everlasting impact. And it's not talking about work to be done, because what work is up in there? And look at that. Look at that. It's coming in as pentacles and cups. Kind of like, well, they keep talking about this elixir, so let's just get into the elixir of light. It's almost like you're bringing the fountain of youth, the fountain of life. You're saying the fountain of truth, Joy. I'm like, straight up. You're like, the fountain of truth. Well, here's to the fountain of truth. You were so far ahead of where you know, but I think that's waking up right now. It's waking up right now. Some of you, you're going to be able to hire an assistant, someone who can do more of the details and the tedious work, because there's a bit of you needing to be able to flow now. That's why it's so interesting, because that knight, I don't know where he went, but the one that was showing up, the Knight of Cups showing up on the horse, was talking about the very much the earthiness of this water, the practicality of it, the freshness of this water, and needing to be able to flow and to move about and have some other people manage tasks for you. Okay, you up here talking business, you talking gold, you talking chocolate. Some of you may have some Ganesha energy up in there, and you're like, I'm ready to celebrate this life I'm living. So they're already having me grab a spirit card for you, stirring up the cosmic waters. You got the cosmos all excited, because they're like, this one knows. This one knows. It's self-assurance, because it's knowing the unknowing. It's not an earned knowledge. It's not a paper knowledge. It's not something measured with rulers and lines and things like that, because that was the illogical logic. Because logic, y'all, is actually common sense. It's the sixth sense. It's when all of our sensational self comes up all together, and the bing bing, the aha, the pop to it, the light bulb goes off, the awakening, the epiphany, all that occurs. And somehow there's an amount of courage to just step forward and start to move in it, knowing that it all unfolds in its own time. You're not willing to touch into your tomorrow and diminish your returns by more than half and take the beauty and all the synchronicity out of it. And you're not reaching back into the past, which is very heavy with taxes, and trying to muss up your now. I love, at the split, look, it's the brown, there's some more chocolate. They're like, put the chocolate in the mouth and the earth under your feet. Let your feelings start to flow. Know yourself, friend. Know yourself. And I pray for the one right now who's wanting to hear this, but there's a bit of cynicism or reservation or trying to like prove it, see where this fits in or whatever, just open your heart. Because I'm not planting any weed seeds there, and I'm not doing anything. That's your heart. I'm just showing you some seed packets, telling you what's happening, tell you what's going on in my garden, and that's it. It's for you and your spirit, your soul to navigate, friend. But they want to tell you about the amazingness coming in. And they're like, it's not all that extra effort. It's just simply opening up your heart and seeing what's there. Your heart is full of sunshine, my friend. You've been getting some black clouds away, some because they're saying two words at once, disruptive, and for some of you, destructive energies, depend on the level of the devil, right? Coming over in, inside, outside, wherever. Been cleaning that out and working on keeping your peace and harmony, your happiness. So we got the 0550 right there, the perfect mirror. Knowing the actions to take and getting the results that you desire. Why? Because of that tenet you were telling us about a few minutes ago, that you're not mussing up your future by trying to get needs met from tomorrow's supply today, because usually that's just a disturbance in the force. Force, P-H-O-S, the FOSS, which is actually how you pronounce it. So that's the force that they're talking about, because phosphorescence is something that the moment you move across it, it lights up and then it's expended quickly. That's why you're not reaching out into your tomorrow trying to feed yourself today, because that's the law of diminishing returns. And you've stayed out of your past because you start realizing that's heavy. It starts disturbing your peace. So peace and harmony is right now inside of you, and they're just saying more to it. 2222 has been showing up, and so there's plenty for you to do today. I love your wisdom, Virgo, and it says purify your body, because you're saying this is that's coming in as encouragement, because this is something that you're already doing, and they're saying yes, please, yes, and these curls be getting all up in my stuff with this wind. So let's do that. Let's get up into the first. Let me get a sip. Pardon me. And by the way, Virgo, if this is you, lean in, because this is mind, body, soul. So that's why we went in the spirit. Now we're getting into the body here. Ooh, who that Kit Kat up on that? Talk about that triumphant power. Talk about the triangulation, because if you want to gain a point on a map, you have to triangulate. And that's why you're aware that your future and what's coming in, you have a sense of it, or what you desire, or what you drink. And you're aware of where you've been. And you're like, now let's get to where we're going. Cosmic Beaver, oh, they got a lot of, it's been dancing all through this. And the Beaver's like, we ain't doing it the old way, the hard way anymore. Because now that we're in this new age, the age of plasma, some call it the age of Aquarius, it is an environment, a state for us to be in, but we are the choosers of what we do with it. So either you can bring all that other shizdizzery up in here and try and make it hard and look like you earned it and prove it and whatever else, and it's gonna have a strong impact, one that you weren't planning on. We just won't even say it here. Well, there are those, because here you're choosing to follow into your truth. That's that cosmic energy. That's the ease and the flow, because it's not easy or hard, it's ease or dis-ease. And you're like, we ain't doing that hard stuff no more. Look at this wisdom, the locks glowing all around you, because it's glory and wisdom coming in, because hair retains knowledge, right? It has all that experience there, and it's still growing every second, every minute. And it's taking up excess resources that you don't need. It's that fountain, that flow. And it's like, so they're wanting you to know that as you glow up and as you're abounding in this glory is coming, it will naturally bless the world around us with inspiration. When you share, it's not like you have to pull pieces off of yourself or out of your time or out of your pocketbook anymore to bless the world around you. Virgo, let's let you hear that, my sweet friend, okay? Because people have been gribbling up on you for as long as time stands still. Matter of fact, I even saw an image this morning, like you have this big kind of like burlap sack, like a Santa sack, and people are coming along, gimme, help, and you're handing it out and handing it out and handing it out. Say it's bottles of water, and then all of a sudden you're like, whew, I'm a bit thirsty, because you are long suffering, my friend. You have great endurance. And you go fishing around the bag and you're like, it's empty. The old day, away. You now learn to set yours aside and begin enjoying yourself and not having to hold out while you serve. You're enjoying yourself through the whole process called living. And that's why you're getting better at editing your time, your energy, and your resources. Let's talk about a new epiphany. We're going to get out of the underground and come on up and not be fooled by the foxes anymore. Now, when I'm talking here, I'm not putting down anybody's totem. Totem energy is different. It is medicine. I'm talking about the generalities of human energy showing up in animal form, like that old thing trying to drag you this way and that, never really getting to what you were set here for. Okay, like, tell it, Joy. Well, so that's your body. Let me leave them turned up like that because they seem to have picked themselves. So now let's get into a little bit of the head space and what is going on around you, because we already know how Jules said. We know what you've been doing, like, and. So this is your and then some abundance. Oh, y'all. Now this morning, I was feeling the tinge of autumn in the air. I was feeling the tinge of that season to come. And if you're showing up from across the world, just translate, right? Okay, friend? That would mean your spring coming in. Is that shift in energy that brings that release, that reprieve, that essence, that yes, ooh, ah. And it starts to percolate in all those sensual type sounds, which is very somatic. So you want to start healing your somatic system and wake up some pleasure. Start making those sounds. Make them. You don't have to do them out in front of people. You could do them after you brush your teeth and go, or after you sip your bubbly drink and go, or you could do it when you're taking that bite of the pizza or the whatever, the roasted asparagus up in your mouth and be like, you know, you just tell them, wake up the abundance, enhance it, put some sound effects to it. Because you ever watch a movie where they don't have sound effects? No. All right. Now, I grew up in the era where movies still had soundtracks. That was the bomb.com. Hey, people, if you listen, you're a creative aspect and you do movies and films and all that, bring some sound effects back. Bring back the soundtrack. Yes. Not just all the visual effects. Oh my God. We've been so heavy to be led by our eyes and wonder why there isn't that pleasure. Oh, 12. Talk about some mightiness there. And life is more than just that. Would you be spending your money on all the food you are if it had no flavor, nothing to savor, if it just looked good? You ever been with somebody or gone out with somebody or hung around with somebody who just looked good? And I don't mean just like magazine looks. They looked like they were a good friend. They talk a good talk, right? All that noise, but when you get in, it doesn't feel right. Listen to yourself, because this is your world, and this is the surroundings and environment you have, the people, places, and things going on. You got another split going on here, so I'm gonna just hold it. Let me hold it. You got the triples coming in, my friend. Even the squirrel isn't harassing you over here. It's looking in, looking on, stopping the world everywhere you go. Let it. Let your favor, your privilege, your beauty, because that's what peace and harmony is. Those two, when they make a baby, it's called beauty, friends. Beauty is that thing you can't put your finger on when you see people going by or when they speak or whatever. It makes music all around you, inside you. You're like, wow, there's just something about that person, right? We've begun to call beauty what is actually pretty. All right, that's just surface, that's just outward, that's just treatments. And that's amazing. If that's part of what gets you excited about life, yes, do it. But I'm talking the innateness of your full expression. How you glide, move about, and people are like, where'd you get your jewelry? Where'd you get your shoes? Where'd you get your whatever? Because it's the magic of it being totally you. You felt it when you saw it and you're like, oh, this is so me, I gotta get this, right? It might not even be something trendy, so you're a trendsetter. Did you know that, Virgo? You might not have, because you've been so knee-deep, nose-deep into surface. Into serving the surface needs of people. Getting it to quiet down, to shut up, to get over there. Yes, somebody's got to be responsible and get it done. That's all that do. Remember at the beginning in that tarot, they were talking about y'all who, I don't know, it's stuffed under my leg because it is still a bit breezy, which is why we're up close and personal. Now let's get to the split. Take a screenshot if you need to remind yourself. And it is coming because it's already occurring. It's already occurring in the undergirding and the underneath. The flow is moving underneath and it's going to begin to show up in the visual. And this is the visual that you're going to begin to see. How funny that this is so visual and this is sensational. Huh? You're going to see how sensational you are. Oh. Magic on the mountains is what they're saying, my friends. Some of you pack your bags and go on a trip. Take yourself to the mountains. Go and explore, even if the land you have is flat, a bit like mine around here. There's nourishment around every corner because mountains kind of have those nooks and crannies and things that you don't see till you get there. But since you're not up in your yesterday or your tomorrow or anything like that, you're pure up in the today. They're talking about almost like Easter egg hunting, all that kind of going on, friend. Get out your basket. All these eggs are going in one basket. And what basket is that? It is you. And it's the many delights coming into the who, coming into the now, and coming into the where you're at, and more than just what you're here for, because that peace, that harmony is showing up as pleasure, that sensation, feeling satisfied, feeling the magic of who you are. And when it begins to make you feel what people would term suchy much or full of yourself, yes, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up, because if you aren't full of you, you full of shit. And you know I don't say it straight out much at this channel because we have all sorts of listeners, but that's it. It's not just poop, because poop comes from you. Shit comes from everyone else, everything else, all the muck, all the mess, all the Just a little public service announcement. We're staying there, and in the split we got minimus. Commune with the source, 17. Ooh. Now that's the thing, because Chiron resonates at 13. And Chiron is the one that had the wound. We all do when we land here and bump our heads. We're a bit earthy, we're a bit spiritual, but we keep it separate. We don't know how to let it all merge and be ourselves, because one of the first things we're told when we're little is, don't be so full of yourself. Don't be so self-centered. But if you're not in the center of yourself, you're in everybody else's business and everybody else's lane, which means everybody can be in your business and in your lane. And you can see where all the conflict comes from, right? The conundrum. And we didn't know, because we've been conditioned. It came before we started our recorder and our memory, although our soul's been recording forever. Okay? But 17 is the healed healer. It's when the aha moment comes and you're like, I'm here to enjoy myself. Not prove, not earn, not learn. And now learn in the sense of like our schooling. We were trained what to think. Oh, so there's something I'm missing. I better this. And it gets into rigid. It gets into check marks, checkpoints. You know, like you can only win then. You can only, you know, well, when you're in 12th grade, you'll understand what it's like to whatever. You see what I'm saying? No, enjoyment is this dynamic process of the nowness, of all times occurring at once, and learning to just stay right in this moment, because there are things planted like those Easter eggs with this synergistic energy that when you come upon it, right time, right place, right? Because you're following your soul, your spirit, your guide, it opens up and it pops and presents itself right to you. Transform the way you see. And that's taking off the old earth eyes. Because see, look how fugly and farky that is. Fugly and farky, okay, friends. So anyways, let me weigh these down right here. That's like trying to diminish yourself and be less than and look like everybody else. Like if I walked around like this, or if I talked tarot like everybody else, then why would you be here? You would have everybody else to tune into. And this channel is focused on you, friend. Not on the circumstances, not on other people's response to you or not. No, we are getting into our truth, into our whole, and into our center, the magnificent power that existed where all things come from, and therefore all things here. Let's get out of that sucktastic swamp of having to play these low-end games and act like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, thank you. You know, or having to be around people who just gossip and run stuff into the ground, and who just had that little bit of jaundice, that little bit of poison, that little bit of whatever up in their system, that little bit of usership and whatever else. You must be tired of that, because you like rub the eyes. All right, friends. Well, so you know how that goes. You know what it is. Get up in this. Get up in this. Get your cosmic beaver. And y'all juice yourself. Juicy fruit. Double the pleasure. double the fun, my friend, and I agree with you. I vote for you. I am excited and celebrating all this divine interest and inspiration that is going on in your life, and I say full speed ahead, my friend. Move in your groove and in your glory, because I am celebrating you. Hey, leave me some sunshine, some emojis, whatever, down below. Share that juiciness at this channel. Pump it up. Hit that like button. Help us rise to the top. And if you hadn't yet, subscribe, because there is only more of this to come, friend. I love you.